The DNC chief is out, but Sanders supporters saying the fix is still in. I'm Charles Payne in for Neil Cavuto. Thanks a lot, Jeff Flock. Socialists sharing water and sharing insults. Everyone right there seemed to be united against Hillary Clinton. I want to bring in former Clinton pollster Bernard Whitman, also Republican strategist Lisa Booth. Bernard, I'll start with you. Hillary Clinton on under a tremendous amount of pressure. It's self-inflicted pressure once again.
You know, I think that you're going to see a full-throated endorsement by Bernie Sanders tonight of Hillary Clinton. We have the most progressive platform in the party's history, in large part because of the influence of Bernie Sanders supporters, the influence of Hillary Clinton supporters. You have inclusion of things that Bernie Sanders holds very dear, fighting income inequality, pushing for a federal minimum wage of $15, expanding the public option into Obamacare, making college more affordable for all Americans. And I think you're going to see a huge contrast. You know, at the Republican convention in Cleveland, you saw the runner-up fail to endorse his own nominee and get booed off stage. You're not going to see that tonight in Cleveland.
But, what we're already seeing in Philly, though, Lisa Booth, is extraordinary scenes outside of Bernie Sanders supporters who are not happy. And you got to wonder, the full-throated endorsement tonight, whether that will make a difference to these folks who bought into the ideology, probably more so than the men.
Well, absolutely, Charles. And two, you cannot discount the fact that a DNC chairwoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, is stepping down from her position and is also not going to be presiding over the convention throughout the entire week. This is huge news, and that is very important to point out the impactfulness of this. And look, if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, you've been justified in your line of thinking. Bernie Sanders, throughout the entire Democratic primary, was saying that the system is rigged. This is also a narrative that Donald Trump has been driving, and the reason that they've been driving this narrative is because the system is rigged, and this does help Donald Trump, because you look at a lot of Americans that believe that there's a different set of rules for Hillary Clinton and for an average American, and that's something that is seen in polling, even just in regards to the private email server and private email. When you look at the fact that a majority of Americans believe the FBI should have brought forward or recommended an indictment, including 60% of independents and one-third of Democrats as well.
Right. Bernard, on that note, apparently when I heard Debbie Wasserman Schultz speak this morning, she said that Hillary Clinton has asked her to be a surrogate. I mean, how tone-deaf does the Clinton campaign have to be? They should have put her on a plane yesterday to Florida and said, listen, in a cabin somewhere in the Everglades, and with a padlock and a key, and say, we'll come get you in a week. I mean, really, it just doesn't make sense to me. They're not listening to the voters, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, let's look at actually what the facts are. The facts are that Hillary Clinton actually managed to get Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign the convention, to resign her role as chairman of the Democratic National Committee. I actually think that she frankly should have resigned effective yesterday rather than effective at the close of the convention. But I think that is what you're going to see, people taking responsibility for this. And at the end of the day, the emails that were leaked, the thing that we should be truly concerned about is where that leak came from. And what really concerns me most is that Russian military intelligence, probably under the direction of Vladimir Putin, is trying to meddle in a U.S. election. We've never seen that before in the history of our relationships with Russia, even during the Cold War. And this is largely inspired by Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump has made it abundantly clear that if he's elected president, he will give Vladimir Putin a free hand to do whatever he feels like doing in the Baltics, and likely all over Western Europe. Donald Trump wants to remove us from NATO, which would give Vladimir Putin a free range in Europe.
Hold on one second, guys, because Hillary Clinton, speaking about this and other things, saying that when it comes to standards, there's not an equal playing field. Take a listen.
I often feel like there's the Hillary standard, and then there's a standard for everybody else.
What's the Hillary standard?
Well, it is, a lot of, as you saw at the Republican convention, unfounded, inaccurate, mean-spirited attacks with no basis in truth, reality.
All right, Lisa, listen, let's face it. The media has pounced on every single thing that Donald Trump has said, so I'm not sure why she thinks she's being singled out here.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's on easy street, and she also had the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz propping her up throughout the duration of the Democratic primary. So I don't know what she's complaining about. There's absolutely a different set of rules when it comes to Hillary Clinton and when it comes to the average American. I think that's something that's going to negatively affect her in the general election, because you've got a lot of people that are looking around right now, and they're feeling like the economy is not doing so great. They're feeling that pain in the pocketbook, and they're also and so you look at the feeling that they just feel like the entire system is rigged in general. So I think that's something that's going to be negative for Hillary Clinton. But I think it's a little bit funny when you have Democrats talking about Russia when Hillary Clinton herself said that there was nothing to be concerned about in the event that her email system was hacked by, a country like Russia, but yet they're talking about Russia hacking into the DNC emails.
Bernard, whether it's the vast right-wing conspiracy, now the Russians, how does Hillary Clinton sort of now say that woe is me, that somehow she's being picked on? Wouldn't it be much better if she would just occasionally say, hey, listen, mea culpa, it was a mistake, and try to move on?
Well, I absolutely agree, Charles. And in fact, that's exactly what she did with the email server. She said it was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. If I had known everything now that I knew, if I know then what I know now, I wouldn't have done it. The media refuses to pick up that narrative. Instead, wants to repeat lie after lie after lie after lie. It is not an indictable offense. The FBI director was abundantly clear about that. And all you heard in Cleveland was lie after lie after lie from Donald Trump, picking on fear of others and hatred of Hillary Clinton.
Here's
There's
the
not
point,
a single
though.
positive message coming out of
One
Trump.
second, Lisa, I'll let you in, but I want to ask Bernard this. A new poll out today, those unfavorables, I mean, they are beginning to be an anchor. They really, it's hard to see how she can win with these unfavorable numbers that get worse and worse. They're setting their numbers never seen before.
Look, I think Hillary Clinton does have a mountain to climb in terms of her likability, but I think what is more important and what is ultimately going to be the predictor of who's going to win this election in November is who's qualified to be president. A recent poll shows 59% of Americans think that Hillary Clinton is qualified to be president. 60% of Americans think that Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. No one is going to vote for someone they don't think is qualified to be president of the United States. They may not like everything that Hillary Clinton stands for, but at least they agree that she's qualified to be the commander-in-chief.
Lisa, real quick.
But Charles, the reason people think that Hillary Clinton should have been indicted is because she spent $140,000 out of her own paycheck to set up a private email server and email to circumvent Congress, and then proceeded to lie about it throughout the duration of the past year or so. So that is why people do not believe Hillary Clinton. So absolutely people think that she did something wrong. There's something like 92% of Americans believe that she either broke the law or did something wrong. And you look at the top issues that American voters care about, it's jobs and it's ISIS. And those are the issues that Donald Trump leads with.
Well, speaking of ISIS, guys, there was another attack in Germany, and ISIS is claiming a responsibility. I want to go to Ashley Webster because